You're with Matt Miracle, the head football coach for the High Island Cardinals. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm good. Good. How are you?
I am doing well. Of course, it's a little strange, uh, living through the stay-at-home and the COVID-19 and all that. How are you and your family doing with in the community there in High
Fine.
Island doing?
Fine. We're all healthy. Nothing's going on here. Staying our 6 feet apart and makes it tough in our little house, but no, I'm joking. We're fine. Family, wife, kids are all doing good, and then community's doing great. Just miss the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. So, speaking of that, what are you doing to keep contact with the kids from the school? Now, you actually teach social studies.
Teach U.S. history, and then I also teach some online business classes. Uh, so luckily, we're running Google Classroom for all the teachers right now. So we're still able to communicate with all the kids, not just the athletes that way. And then the other stuff, I've been pretty, I've used Remind apps since I've been here. I'm using Sports U right now, which is kind of what THSCA is using to kind of communicate with coaches, send out character lessons and stuff like that. I'm also got my kids signed up on that, so I'm sharing that way with them. And then I do have their phone numbers, so I text them and check on them from time to time as well. So staying as in touch as I can and as encouraging as I can, because I think we're all bored right now, ready to
Now,
get back to work.
the timing of this probably isn't good for anybody, but particularly schools that are making big changes. And High Island's going from 6-man football to 11-man football.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so, what's your impact there, and how are you handling that transition?
Well, we're currently, me and my coaches, luckily I've got coaches that just live down the street in each direction, so we can visit outside their home. But we've been talking via phone and email to try to get prepared and text. And as soon as they get their Google Classrooms handled, we're going to dive in full into the football side of it. As far as the kid goes, we're working on right now on doing cut-ups and things with Huddle. So since we can't actually get on a whiteboard, I can send cut-up groups of the offense and the defense that we'll be running and some of the special team stuff. I can go ahead and get that out to them and make it specific to the position they'll be playing. So it takes a little bit of time, but probably makes me a better student of the game as well. So, but that's what we're doing right now. We haven't shot any Huddle cut-ups out yet, but I'm almost done with the offensive side of things. So
And so,
those will be going out in a couple of weeks.
yeah, so what kind of an offense are you looking at running? You're coming from, the high flying 6-man, but what kind of offense are you looking at running in 11-man?
My background, I grew up playing 11-man, and we did a lot of stuff out of the split backfield. And then my last head coaching job before I came to High Island was a 6A head coaching job in Fort Worth, Texas. And we ran a little bit of the flex bone, a little bit of the spread, just kind of fit it to whatever kids we had year to year that fit our kids best. But we're going to go slot T here. We think it fits our kids best. It's not a super popular offense out there, but I think it's easy to teach. I've got lineman type kids. And I've got a member of the slot T family as my superintendent, so I can kind of cheat, which helps because he knows the ins and outs, because they're pretty tight-lipped about the offense unless you really, really know somebody. So, and then I've got some cut-ups from a buddy of mine who's an O-line coach that had some Liberty Hill cut-ups that I'm working on right now. And I've got a couple of coaches that have reached out to me and said they would share with me, which just, with all this timing, it's kind of I was supposed to have already gone and shared, but with all this going on in the world right now, I've had to just sit back and wait. So I've been doing what I can. So if that answers your question, slot T is where we're going. Like I said, I think it fits our kids the best. We were a run-based offense in 6-man anyway. That's what we did. We ran the football, and we did a lot of power type running, a lot of power looks, and power toss and stuff like that in 6-man. So we're going to do the same thing in 11-man, and try to keep our terminology the same, so that the kids don't have to learn anything new along that lines either. So the coaches will learn. We'll try to keep it the same for the kids.
Talk a little bit about the decision to go 11-man, because you do have the option. You could still play 6-man football, but the school, the superintendent, make the decision to go 11-man. Talk a little bit behind the driver behind that.
Well, I spent my plan was I started the White Deer program when they went outlaw. That was my first job, and I had fun. And I was going to stay at White Deer. It just didn't work out housing wise. I have a big family, and I had one house in White Deer that had 2 bedrooms and 1 bath, and there was just nowhere to live other than Amarillo, Texas. And I didn't want to drive an hour every day, one way to work. So made a really hard decision to leave that community. And when I got here, I was excited about doing 6-man. It was 6-man company. Did 6-man for the past 2 years. The only thing I don't enjoy about 6-man in High Island is the fact that I was the bus driver and that I was driving long distances to football games and having to, the same night. And it was pretty taxing. Superintendent didn't like it either. He thought there was some safety hazards involved there. We had to move all our district games to Saturday for us, which also having 6 days a week versus 5. The rest of the district played on Friday nights unless they're playing High Island, and you played on Saturday just because of the distance. I mean, we were driving our Union Hill trip, or I'll use our Fruitvale trip last year. We left here at 7 a.m. We pulled up at 1:15 in Fruitvale, got off the bus, got dressed, the game at 2, got back on the bus by about 5:30, and turned around and drove all the way home. And I was home and had kids unloaded by about 1 o'clock that night, which just is a tough sell to some of these parents because they were so concerned about, coaches coaching all day and then driving buses. And so from a safety, we looked at it more from a safety standpoint. That's really what drove our decision, because our longest drive next year, round trip, is 3 hours. So I think I added up the schedule, and for the time we traveled, I think we traveled 19 hours this season to play game, and that's not right. That's not right. I want to say it was 20-something hours to travel our games this year. I could be wrong. I've been on a break. And all of the travel next year for all the games, I think our district travel was 20 hours last year is what it was, and our travel for everything next year, the whole schedule, is 7 hours. So it decreases it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a big difference in it, and it's probably a factor that a lot of people don't think about is when you're playing 6-man on High Island and the closest 6-man UIL school is in Tyler. It's going to be a lot of travel, and now you're going to be able to play schools
correct.
that
That's
are
one
only.
Of the reasons why
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, your video's breaking up on me just a little bit. I'm having trouble hearing the question.
No, that's okay. I was just saying it's a factor that some people probably don't think about. Your closest district game being in Tyler when you're playing 6-man, but now you're going to be able to play literally schools that are just up the street.
Right. And, High Island had a proud 11-man history way prior, back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. And I can't remember, you'll know better than I did, they've been about 6-man for about 12 years. Sound about right?
Post Ike. So, yeah, probably 10, 12 years.
Probably close to there. And I know the community has just really wanted. That's another thing that kind of drove this, probably more than the safety thing. Safety thing is probably the number one biggest thing, but really was looking forward to, getting back to 11-man when they could. There's a lot of people that live around here, they graduated from here back in the day and have kids that have graduated, their grandkids are now playing here, and they kind of miss that 11-man nostalgia, from way back then. So the other reason why we're doing it, not just safety and that nostalgia, but also because we are boy heavy at the high school level. I had 20 my first year here that played football. Last year we had 27, and my current numbers are showing that we're going to have about 31, could have upwards to 35. we could actually end up having the most kids in our district next year because the other teams are all down in the mid 20s to 22 ish. We could actually wind up with more and still be a Class 1A by enrollment numbers school just because of how many kids. And so that was another reason, because we weren't getting a lot of kids playing time. We tried a JV. It was tough to find JV games, in the area. A lot of those we had to rely on private schools, and your private schools only had 8 or 9 kids to start the year. By the time you played them, they canceled their season because injuries or whatever. And so we lost. I had a JV schedule the last 2 years, and I've had to cancel both years. I think we played one JV game each year. And so that kind of hurts the development of the program. So we're trying to find ways to, if we're going to have these kids want to be involved, I want to keep them involved. And if I don't keep them involved and they're not playing and doing something, they're going to quit playing football. So I don't want that.
Absolutely not. So are you going? You're going to be playing varsity only? You're going to have the JV 11-man.
Well, right now we're planning on having varsity only. If our numbers do go up, and if we do end up having as many kids, and again, all this was, everything's were looking good before everything happened in the world. But we were thinking if we got up in the realm of 36 kids, which is potential, we might try to go ahead and do find a couple of JV games here and there, and that way we can get all our kids playing. Every kid will play for me. It's, the amount of time is decided by the kid and their ability and the situation. And obviously, I want to protect kids and do what's right for kids. So if we had a JV, it'd make it easier to get every kid in and get them lots of playing time, which is what I prefer. But again, we'll just have to wait and see how the numbers shake
out. Okay. Well, High Island, the bird watching capital of Texas, I think, with all your bird preserves around there. But not much of that going on right now.
No, nothing going on right now. I mean, it's quiet. They've remodeled them. It looks nice. When they open everything up, people need to come visit. They've remodeled a bunch of the houses, and they're building some buildings inside the sanctuaries themselves. But other than that, nothing else going on right now.
All right. Well, Coach, thanks for your time. Stay safe, stay healthy. I look forward to catching High Island some point this next year.
Well, I'm excited. If you need anything, just holler. I have nothing but time.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Take care.